I want to start off with being present. Be present, be in the present moment. Working in the present moment can help you in so many ways, mentally, physically. I managed sales teams in my past. I always told them, be here while you're here. Be here while you're here. Be present. Are you somewhere you don't want to be? So it's hard to be present. Job you don't like and all that. Doing what you don't like to do. I understand that. I've been there. But be present while you're there. Be present. When you being present, it's a strong habit you're creating. It's a very good habit that you start to create by being present. You show up for yourself more. You hold yourself to a higher standard. I believe the last episode I asked you, what standard are you holding yourself to? That matters. I'm gonna keep it a bean. That matters. Don't hold yourself to a lower standard. Even if you're not doing what you want to do, but you got to get out of that habit. Start doing what you want to do by any means necessary. Now, doing what you have to do is always more important than doing what you want to do. You want to eventually make those align. I'm gonna keep it a bean. Everybody's not perfect though. You're not gonna always. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I wanted to talk about be present. Before I get into the next topic, I want you to be present. It's not always easy to be present in this world nowadays. That's why I wanted to talk about it. I think we have a ton of distractions. We have a ton of things being thrown at us a million times a second. Information that may or may not be important. It gets tricky. If you took anything from the last episode, whether it was how you talk to yourself, how you affirm yourself, being grateful, finding the source of humility, that's important. Being present is just as much important because it makes it easier when you spending this quality time with yourself or with other people, Be present with your friends. Be present in your relationships. Be present for yourself at work, Just be present. Be present. Yeah, you have to be here. Because a lot of times you talking to somebody, you think about something else and that's not okay, Show some consideration. Be a decent human being. And I've been having that problem with motherfuckers. I ain't gonna lie, you motherfuckers not decent. Y'all don't have decency. Y'all not considerate. I tell you something that irked me the other day. I'm at Walmart. I pull up in the parking lot of Walmart and there's carts all over. They in carts and parking spots and all that. This is human beings doing this. You feel me? I don't like stuff like that. I go on and on, but be a decent human being. That irked me though. Yeah, that irked me. I ain't gonna lie, that irked me. We need some decency in the black community, y'all. We need some decency. You feel me? Like some fundamental level of decency. Whether that's, not littering. You feel me? Something small as that. A lot of times, decency comes with consideration. Like, I'm not going to litter here because I wouldn't want somebody to do that to me. Or I'm not going to treat this person like shit because I wouldn't want somebody to do that to me. You feel me? So really be on a decent human being. Do as to people as you want done unto you. That's a real thing. Don't sleep on that. That's real. Be present, y'all. Be present. I'm gonna find a way to squeeze my Jones in. Being present. Another synonym for being present, or a word I've heard associated with being present is mindfulness. Mindfulness. Be mindful. I say consideration. Being mindful. Consideration. They're cousins, same thing or whatever. But yeah, be mindful. Be thoughtful with yourself, with other people, your values. Have your values intact. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's just like the laws that you live by. Because you got to have some somewhat level of morally. Because it's so hard nowadays. I don't know the rules, to be honest. I know what rules I live by. I know the rules that I live by. And they are structured from like religion and things of that nature, of traditional values. Although I say I'm not religious, I do believe in the need for religion in society. We have this compass of decency or morality. You feel me? So, and I feel like we need that. We need that compass. So yeah, be present. That's what I need to cut to. I'm talking. See, I'm getting filler, and it's just how do you be present? How to do that, right? Is be conscious. I think a lot of what we battle. I think we're gonna have a conversation about emotional intelligence because we gotta have an emotional intelligence conversation. How in tuned are you with your emotions? How transparent are you with your emotions? Every episode or every piece of content I've created up until this point, I've been building you towards this emotional intelligent plane. All right, when I first got introduced into emotional intelligence, right, I used to go to sleep every night. This is a few years back. Before I went to sleep, I would go on YouTube and type self-help audiobook. Try to listen to a new book every day. Then I finally got like probably a group of 20 or plus more books, and I just keep listening to them over and over and over and over, trying to just bring them into my subconscious. I listen to them when I work out. I listen to them a lot of times, mainly when I went to sleep, because I was also reading at this time of when I've got introduced to this book. I was reading a few different books, but I also wanted to keep the information rolling, positive information, learning. I came across Daniel Goleman's book, Emotional Intelligence. That name alone sparked so many ideas in my mind. Emotional intelligence. That's interesting. I definitely want to see that. And I remember around that time, and you won't find that book on YouTube now, because I looked for it earlier, knowing that I might possibly bring it up. You ain't gonna find it on YouTube for free now, and then you gotta go, tap in and buy it. But Social Intelligence was another book that he had that I would be listening to. I would probably listen to both of them books like 40 times. The number one takeaway for me, because everything is up to interpretation. You might take something different from listening, and I might take something different. I had to listen so much because I never read it. I just listened to it. It starts with being honest with yourself, though. It starts with being honest with yourself. When I say being honest with yourself, I mean you get a stimulus, right? Whatever's causing this emotion. Happiness is an emotion. Fear is an emotion. Loneliness is a sense of an emotion. Sadness is an emotion, right? You have to start being honest with yourself, or observing yourself in real time, and realize, when are you experiencing these emotions? After seeing when you experience these emotions, look at what triggers these emotions. Are you triggering these emotions? Are your thoughts triggering these emotions? Are events triggering these emotions? Are people triggering these emotions? Is your past triggering these emotions? Is your specific person in your life, what is triggering these emotions? What do you do when faced with these emotions? So it's really like analyzing how you get from A to B, how long you stay at A to B. That's what emotional intelligence is about. You got to tap into you at some point. Now, you could do this for yourself. I've done it. You could do this with a therapist. I've done that too. For me, the self one helps more, but I'm different. Everybody's different. Everybody can learn things differently. Some people aren't willing to go to certain places to figure things out about themselves. I'm too analytical not to, if that make any sense. I gotta tap in with myself on that type time so I can know what's going on with me. If not, I'm gonna obsess. I'm obsessive. That's what it is. I'm obsessive. So everybody's different, but this is not something you could neglect for too long. You can't neglect spending time with yourself for too long, right? So as you becoming more emotionally intelligent, I think that wisdom, because emotional intelligence brings wisdom, right? That transparency you have with yourself, that wisdom, to me, the side effect is mindfulness. That's why I broke all of that down. The side effect of that wisdom is mindfulness. You will be mindful. You will grow this sense of empathy, because although I look at empathy as a part of a side effect of that wisdom. That's my interpretation. Whatever I say right now is my interpretation. You may have yours, But yeah, the side effect of tapping into your emotional intelligence, or you could say being observant of your emotions, it's a lot of different ways you can see this emotional intelligence thing, right? Just the transparency alone, and honesty, the clarity of this emotion, the process of what brought this emotion, that alone will bring mindfulness, in the event that your narcissism doesn't surpass everything. Because now I think in the same event, you can have emotional intelligence but still be so egotistical and narcissistic that you're unable to see past yourself. Now that's an issue. You don't want to do that. That's not a good John to me. I'm gonna keep it a bean. Why isn't that a good John to me? John, person, place, or thing. Philly lingo. It's how I speak. Sorry. It's not a good John. It's not a good John. Because now what narcissism brings to me, to be honest, if it's over, because all of us have a little bit of narcissism in us, right? The side effects of the narcissism, John, is you get blind a little bit. Narcissism doesn't give you that full clarity because all you see is you. You constantly dealing with you. You're not even compassionate enough, considerate enough to see others. Now, there's mindfulness that you need for yourself, the thoughts, but to me, mindfulness is not a solely self thing. Yeah, so mindfulness is something that you use with other people. Let's look up the definition of mindfulness before I misquote this, John. To be honest, I know mindfulness is like okay. No, I was right. So mindfulness is a type of meditation in which you focus on being intensely aware of what you're sensing and feeling in the moment without interpretation or judgment. So yeah, mindfulness is what creates emotional intelligence. I was wrong. So see, that's why interpretation is important, but also research is important. See, I started to talk and I'm like, I'm kind of confusing myself. Let me go. You feel me? So yeah, you gotta be able to do that. I'm not always going to be right. I'm not always going to be perfect. But I have an understanding of what works together, which is the mindfulness, being present, and emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence being very important. So for me, I guess what I do practice is a ton of mindfulness in that sense of the emotional intelligence. They're the same thing. Let's keep it a being, right? So you're not being honest with yourself. So you're stopping yourself from reaching this sense of emotional intelligence from not being honest with yourself. That lack of transparency alone, the delusion, you being honest with yourself, but you making everything about yourself. The delusion. We're gonna call it you world now, since you everything is about you. You fucking dickhead. You's a dickhead now. Yeah, you a dickhead. You don't want to be a dickhead. You can't make everything about you. That's what Adam 22 is doing right now with no jumper. But we going to carry the fuck on. Because that joint about to crash and burn. Shout out to King. We going to carry the fuck on. Man. Mindfulness. Emotional intelligence. We need this in the community. We need this in the Black community because our parents aren't taught this. This isn't getting passed on to us. Mindfulness is not getting passed on to us. This is something you want to teach your children. This is something you want your children to teach their children. This is traditional that we need to have traditional. You know, we've been through so much trauma. You've experienced so much trauma. Now that you're here learning what mindfulness is with me, a meditation or thought process, because some people don't like the words meditation, right? That's a definition from Mayo Clinic. Let's say a state of mind is a state of active, open attention to the present, right? So you're constantly cognizant. I talked about choices in my last episode. I ended it with that. You need the decisions you make. I talked about that in the last episode. You're constantly making decisions every single second. In those seconds, you need to be mindful. Be mindful. Be mindful, be mindful, be mindful. You've ran away from your mindfulness. Why? I don't know. It can be a lot of things, right? I pretty much always been mindful, but I've also been self-sabotaging, you know, or I've set traps. I've rewarded myself with bad habits to keep certain habits going. I've done a lot. What are you doing? What are you doing? You got to be honest with yourself. You have to be honest with yourself. I'll give you an example, right? Let's say I was on the shots heavy. right? I was on the shots so heavy, I'd be like, I gotta work out so I could dump. I'm a workout so I could dump. That's for my Philly people. We'll get to that though. Yeah, I'm about to bang out this workout so I could dump my shot though. What I just said was, I'm about to go work out so I can pop a Percocet. Or I'm going to eat something healthy so I can pop a Percocet. So I don't feel too guilty for popping a Percocet. What are you giving yourself the excuse for why you distracting yourself? I'll tell you what I did. I'm about to go bust this workout out so I could just eat whatever the fuck I want. I still suffer from that a lot of times. I'm not perfect, but I'm honest. We need you to be transparent with us. And us is you in this moment, because you don't need to tell me anything. But I need you to show up for you. Being mindful is an act of love. That's that relationship I was talking about with having with yourself. And I promise you, the more and better you're treating yourself, others will be affected. So you know what? Let's lock in on you right now. Let's go all in on you right now so we can touch everybody else. Let's do that, right? Let's do that. Why not? Pause. Like, not on no creepy shit. Once again, not on no creepy shit. We gotta keep it lighthearted for everybody. Because I like to laugh, man. Everything can't be serious to me. Listen, we're all gonna die. We're all gonna pass on to the afterlife. So why not have fun while we here? Like I said before, I don't know what I'm gonna come back as. I think I'm gonna be a frog though. I don't know about frog. I ain't froggy. I wanna be a chimp. I wanna be a chimpanzee. And you motherfuckers better not call me monkey. Listen, I'm on you white people's asses. Real rap. Yo, somebody did it to me the other day. I never experienced it. Don't judge me, right? I was in shock. My sister tell me about it all the time. I started dying. White guy, come in the club I'm DJing at, right? So, oh my gosh, I love your hair. I'm like, cuz, you is bugging out. I ain't say that. I was dying. I was in tears. I'm like, this really just happened to me. Like, I was in so much shock. What they call the white Karen boys? I don't know. Yeah. Josh? I don't know. But you know what? Before, I need you to fall in love with you. I really need you to fall in love. But don't fall in love with you and be an asshole. Don't fall in love with you and act like your shit don't stink. Don't fall in love with you and think that you got like you're perfect. Nobody's perfect. You don't need to be perfect. But I need you to fall back in love with you to the point that you're going to be the best version of yourself that you can be. Or you're going to fall back in love with yourself with the marathon in mind, knowing that this is a process. I just really want you to smile and stop being miserable. Because like I said in the last episode, that's not the wave. We off the miserable wave. We're not staying on the miserable wave. That's out. We're not on the miserable joint. We on the love joint. We on the smile joint. We on the kind joint. Gentleman, lady joint. Because we growing, black people. I love y'all. We growing. We getting better. I'm going to talk about where I see our generation going in a little bit. We getting better. But we got to put the work in now because we could feel it. We could feel it. We in a real unique time. It's a special time we in. So you could feel it like, ooh. And I see it. I see it. I know you see it. I know you see it. It's a lot of good things happening. And we have to capitalize on that. We got to capitalize on that.